It's because an investment banking analyst, what you're doing is you're learning how to, one, value businesses, and two, you're learning how to think strategically about the levers in these businesses that can be pulled to increase a company's valuation, to increase how much a company is worth. Hey guys, if you like the content on this episode today, I want you to go and click the subscribe button to make sure that you get all of our future episodes as well, because we're putting out multiple episodes a week with valuable investment banking recruiting advice to help you get the job that you want. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about what is investment banking actually. Okay. This is a pretty basic topic, but you'll be surprised. A lot of people actually don't really know what investment banking is, right? So this video is probably not for you if you already know what banking is and you already know that this is what you want to do. But for those of you who maybe have heard a lot about investment banking, right? Maybe a lot of school people at your school want to do investment banking. A lot of your classmates, a lot of your friends. So you know it's this pretty popular career path, but you know it makes a lot of money. You think it has something to do with investing in stocks, but you're just not quite sure what it is. Then this video is for you. Okay, so first thing I wanted to say is it actually has nothing to do with picking stocks. Okay, that's what people do at a hedge fund, right? And so for those of you who don't know what a hedge fund is, that's a whole other video, but I would recommend you check out the show Billions. It's used to be on HBO. I think now it's also on Netflix. It's a great show. Okay, but even if your goal is to eventually work at a hedge fund where your job is to pick stocks, right? Is to buy stocks or to short stocks and get paid a crazy amount of money for doing it. Most hedge funds, what you have to understand is, especially the top hedge funds, they will only hire you if you've already first done a couple years of investment banking first as an investment banking analyst. Okay, so that still brings us back to what is investment banking actually? Right, because a lot of people, and I brought that up because a lot of people that want to go into investment banking, they think that investment banking is a job that allows you to pick stocks, right? Especially nowadays, there are a lot of you who maybe are new to stock investing. You signed up for a Robinhood account, and that's piqued your interest in finance. So what an investment banker is, for those of you who aren't familiar, you're not actually managing anyone's money or investing it for them. Instead, what you are is you're an advisor to companies. You're advising companies. Your clients are actual corporations and not individuals, right? And so to simplify this, you will basically be advising the CEO and CFOs of these companies. CFO stands for Chief Financial Officer, for those of you that are not familiar with the terminology. But you will be advising the CEO and CFO of these companies on primarily two types of transactions. Okay, the first one is mergers and acquisitions. This is the buying and selling of businesses. Sometimes companies will acquire other companies, or sometimes companies will sell themselves to a bigger company, right? And so the way to think about mergers and acquisitions is kind of like, if you are buying real estate, right? If you decide to buy a house or sell a house, who are you going to hire to help you with the transaction? You're going to hire a real estate agent, right? And so this is very similar in terms of what investment bankers do. You're kind of playing the role of the real estate agent in the buying and selling of businesses, right? So it's a much bigger transaction than buying a house, but a lot of similarities in terms of needing to figure out what the right price is, right? How much did you pay for this house, or how much did you pay for this company? Right? Or if you're the seller, how much can you sell your house for, or how much can you sell your company for, right? That's the valuation side of the deal making. And then also helping you structure the transaction, right? And also helping you market the company, right? Position it to potential buyers that would be interested. We're going out and finding buyers to drive the price up, or going out and finding companies that would be willing to sell themselves to your business. So those are all things that investment bankers will help their clients do on the M&A side, okay? On the capital raises side, basically that's the other thing that investment bankers are helping their clients with, right? Is a lot of times when companies need to raise money because they need more cash for whatever reason, they can either raise it through equity or they can raise it through debt. Okay, now debt is pretty easy to understand, right? You go out, you borrow the money from either a bank, or you can borrow money from debt investors, which is there are people out there who are willing to loan you money in exchange for earning the interest that you have to pay them. So to them, it's an investment, right? So if you go out and raise money through debt, in return, you're promising to pay it back over a period of time, right? A predetermined period of time when you have to pay the money back by. And also, you're going to pay a certain amount of interest on top, right? So that's raising debt. So investment banks will help companies go out and do that. If you want to raise money through equity, this is a bit more abstract, but basically, you can think of it this way. Instead of borrowing the money, which you eventually have to pay back, the company can sell a percentage of the company to equity investors in exchange for their cash, right? This way, the money doesn't have to be paid back, but instead, the equity investors benefit when the stock price of the company increases over time, assuming the company is performing well, right? So instead of having to pay back the money, you're rewarding your investors by sharing some of the upside with them, right? Whereas originally the company could have kept it to themselves or it kept the upside to its existing investors, but now it's kind of like broadening its investor base and sharing some of the upside with their new investors in exchange for the cash, right? So investment bankers are responsible for helping the companies find these investors, whether they're debt investors or equity investors. Also, investment bankers will value the businesses and do price discovery based on their expert knowledge of what's currently going on in the market and how much investors have been willing to pay for other similar type of businesses, right? And then the investment bankers will also help the companies position themselves and pitch to the investors, why this company would be a good investment to try to help the company get the best terms possible and get the best outcome possible, right? So that's what investment bankers actually do, right? So then coming back to, those of you who thought investment banking was something else, maybe you were interested in investment banking as a career because you just like investing. Let's come back to the hedge fund topic, which is, hey, why do hedge funds, and not even just hedge funds, but there are other buy-side investing firms like private equity firms, like venture capital firms, and also not just buy-side investing firms, but also Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, technology startups. There are all these employers out there, all these firms out there who all like hiring former investment bankers, right? Why is that? It's because an investment banking analyst, what you're doing is you're learning how to, one, value businesses, and two, you're learning how to think strategically about the levers in these businesses that can be pulled to increase a company's valuation, to increase how much a company is worth, right? And at the end of the day, that's what most companies want, right? They want their company to be worth as much as possible to increase in value because they owe it to their investors to increase the value of their shares, right? Of the stock that they own in the company, right? They call that fiduciary duty, right? So this becomes an extremely valuable skill set, right? When you know what it takes to increase the value of a business from a strategic standpoint, you can become a very valuable asset to the company that hires you, right? And so there's no better place to learn how to think about this kind of stuff outside of investment banking. Investment banking is pretty much the best place to do that, which is what makes it one of the best places for you to start your career, okay? Because it's going to make you just that much more desirable, right? Once you've done your 2 years of investment banking, you can either choose to stay in investment banking for the long run if you love it, or what a lot of people do, in fact, the vast majority of the people, they don't typically stay beyond the 2 years, but you can leave and go do something else, right? Again, whether it's the buy-side investing jobs or working for a Fortune 100 company, or in my case, I left to go to private equity, and then I went to work in Silicon Valley for several different really, really hot tech startups and had a great outcome because of that, right? So many employers will fight over each other to hire you, which means you'll never have to worry about job security again for the rest of your career, most likely. And instead, you'll have a lot of inbound opportunities where people are constantly reaching out to you and asking you if you're interested in working for them. This allows you to be opportunistic and only make a move when you think it's in your best interest, right? Meaning, if the opportunities that come in aren't really better than where you're currently at, then you stay put, right? But if the opportunity comes in and it's significantly better than what you're currently doing, then you can explore that, right? So hopefully this was helpful to you guys and explains to you what investment banking actually is in more of a layman terms in a way that you can understand. And that'll be it for today. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.